Concert Crew Podcast, we back again. So today we talking about it's that time of year. We talking about March Madness. It's the NCAA tournament, college NCAA tournament. We talking March Madness right now. We got some special guests coming up.
Yes.
Coach Reem from the North Texas Mean Green, star player. Javion Hamlet, we're gonna talk to them about their experience in it was March Madness in the tournament. Their whole run that they had. We're gonna talk to them in a minute. But fellas, March Madness. What does March Madness mean to you?
I mean, it's getting back. I missed it last year, man. It's getting back to when you see everybody who hungry. You see a couple big-headed teams get in there, and these little teams come in there and smack them around, and like. You never know, man. It's like this is like football with any given Sunday. This is any given game right now.
Yeah, I love March Madness because it's like anybody could win. Like you got the favorites,
except for North Carolina. What the fuck are we doing?
Oh man, yeah.
Don't even worry about that.
That's a whole nother. Man, you ain't even started all talking
man.
about. I was trying to block that.
Yeah, we know. And IT should have been.
Hey,
you tripping.
Nah, but it's just like but March Madness, man. It's just so fun. It's like the kids just going out there. You got favorites and you got teams that nobody know, and they just come and they bring it. All you gotta do is bring it for one game, and you can knock your favorite, the powerhouse. Man. You can knock them off. March Madness is the fun, and it's no series. It's one game. So if you bring it that one time, you can go on.
This is my guy right here. So like the North Carolina thing, I love the Tar Heels, but this right here, like. It balanced it out because I wanted my folks in them to embrace this.
Absolutely.
Just being there. This shit is crazy.
Well, I ain't have a good feeling about North Carolina anyway. Honestly, I was riding the wave. I thought we was gonna at least get to Sweet 16 or something, but we out there look like trash cans out there, trash bag, big garbage, extra large garbage bags out there,
trash.
But March Madness, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. I know it's different this year. How y'all feel like they handled it? This is like the bubble version of the March Madness this year.
They got it right, man, because COVID, like, you can end up like a VCU.
Oh, man, that hurt
You can end up like a VCU.
That hurt me, man.
And then the rumors is going out. You never know, but they saying somebody broke quarantine or whatever the case. I don't know, but like VCU, though, that was one of them teams that could have, upset some shit.
Yeah.
And then for them not to get a chance to play, like, they had one team that had COVID. So,
man, and why? I mean,
why it had to be them?
Yeah, why everybody was looking forward to watching the VCU Delaware native Bones. Yeah. He was playing the game. Everybody wanted to see that game.
Bones is a motherfucker.
Yeah, he is killing it too. So everybody wanted to see that game. So that's very unfortunate.
That young boy did his thing though. The young boy, he did his thing.
Yeah, he did from Maryland. He did his thing. That was very unfortunate.
But it just made you
Eric.
Yeah, it just made you look at it like, damn. I wonder what Bones would have did because he snapped. First round, he had about like 25. I want to say.
Who?
Eric. He had about like 25.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he had about 25.
I just wanted to see Bones in the tournament light. Just
he'll be back, man, because VCU, they love him. He gonna be there and he gonna push them off. Yeah. So they'll get back, but yeah, it was crazy.
But like, what are some of the big stories? It's always these stories every year for March Madness. What do you think some of the top stories are? So far in March Madness, we had the Sweet 16 now.
I mean, you got Juwan Howard coaching well.
Whew.
You got
happy for him, man.
Yeah, you got a number one that got knocked off already. Loyola Chicago make it run. Fucking UNT knocking off Purdue was that was a big one. 13 versus 4.
I think it's every year it's normally like two big upsets, but it feel like this year it's been like a lot of them. Do you think it's because it's more in the same location? You think that has to do with it, or you think they just coming to play?
The motherfuckers just coming to play. Like you got to, with these big schools now, you get a lot of one and dones.
Right.
So with these little schools, you got a lot of seniors and juniors and seniors and vets on the team. Experience is everything. So that's why you got an Oral Roberts around. That's a 15 seed. Know what I mean? That's why you got a Loyola Chicago, even though they were the 8 seed, but they're still around. I don't understand how UCLA was 11 seed, coming to the year, but they got talent.
Word.
I mean, it's a lot of shit out here.
And I think a lot of it is getting more balanced than we actually think. We just see these big name schools and we just think they're always supposed to be some good, but some of these mid majors is bringing it now.
But you notice, I noticed a lot of these teams, like even when I was watching Kansas the other night, like they're losing and there's no sets being run. They like, yo, we got better players, we gonna win. But you got teams like fucking Syracuse that they run a system.
Yeah,
they gonna run that fucking system, and that's why they.
And no matter if they got talent or not,
no, they gonna run that system. Yeah, they gonna zone you the fuck up, and they gonna shoot the shit out of that ball.
Yeah, I think like you said, a lot of upsets is a big story. Definitely Juwan Howard. I'm rooting for him. I just kind of, part of me wants him to like rewrite the whole Fab Five thing, how that went down. I think that'll be a beautiful story. Also, one of the early stories is I was happy for Pat Ewing, man. Georgetown ain't really been good, and they went on a run in the Big East tournament. I was happy for him.
But you got to think, Pat lost he had like 3-4 players.
Too, or they lost the first round?
No, they lost.
They lost. But they wasn't supposed to make the tournament, period. They went on a run.
Pat got a job and lost probably like 4 of his top players.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they just transferred on him. So, like, they didn't know he did a good job of coaching them. I like his staff. I like the old boy dude on the staff. Good dude, man. Like, I'm happy for
and
Pat.
I hear he got a good recruiting class that's coming in. So I'm happy for Pat that he could turn it around. People didn't believe in him, but he was coaching the NBA for a while, and he was doing a pretty good job getting passed over on every single job that would come up. So I'm happy he found a place.
I'm happy they gave him Georgetown.
Yeah, but Pat's still mad about being in that motherfucking. They asked him for his ID in Madison Square, man. But come on, Pat. Some of these people weren't even born when you was fucking balling, Pat.
Pat, they should know Pat, dog.
Motherfucking right.
And Baylor,
Pat got a mask on.
Word. What about Baylor though? Undefeated. You think? What do you think?
No, this is gonna be tough. Now they're not undefeated. They lost a game in the regular season. You're talking about Gonzaga's undefeated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, not Baylor.
Yeah.
Gonzaga's
undefeated.
Gonzaga.
But this is one of them teams like them and Baylor in the past had a little history of choking, but like they got some good players, man. They both talented. Coach Tang, like you said, Brooks at Baylor, and then Mark Few, like he does what the fuck he does.
Mm-hmm. You think Gonzaga? You think they can run? You think it's a chance?
It's a chance? I wouldn't be.
They're a complete team.
Yeah, they are. That freshman point guard they got, Suggs is tough as shit.
They're impressive. I watched them a few times this year, maybe like 4 games, and they impressed me.
A lot of people like to discount them because their conference ain't tough. But one thing about them, they gonna play a tough ass out of conference schedule.
Absolutely.
I can tell you what, that loss gonna hurt. That loss when they lose.
So you already calling it there.
Well, kind of. I don't think they're gonna win it.
Who?
I just think
Gonzaga.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win it. I think they're gonna be around, but I don't think they're gonna win it. So we'll talk about that.
So how has the pandemic made this year's March Madness so unique, you think? Because this has never happened.
Well, of course,
before.
No fans, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, not. It's some fans.
I was there.
But not
10,000,
I know. But
not the norm, not the packed house, not the packed house.
The shit is crazy because normally the Final Four is in them stadiums.
Yeah.
But like now it's split in half. So like I went to the Baylor game early. They played on one side of the Lucas Oil. North Texas played on the other side of the Lucas Oil. So it's split down the middle, got a partition and all that.
So it's like
it's half and half. Yeah. So
really?
Normally when you go because normally that they play them at different colleges and stuff like that.
Right.
But or arenas or NBA arenas. But when you go to the Final Four is always in a football stadium.
Right.
It's one court.
Yeah.
So like now they split it in half. But it's different. No more tickets. So everything is mobile. So they got no paper tickets now. So everything is mobile. If you ain't getting a motherfucking email, you ain't getting in that game.
Wow.
Yeah. So then like even though when we went to see Reem and them, like we were talking through him through the glass.
So
like you couldn't.
Are they scanning something in your phone? How
yeah.
You getting it? So
you got the ticket. You got the tickets on your phone.
They don't want no passing.
That makes sense. Okay, that's unique.
Yeah.
So any restrictions in the actual arena, Ted? Anything?
So Lucas Oil is where I went to. They didn't have any no cash. So if you didn't have a card, you couldn't at the concession liquor or anything. Yeah, they had a machine in there that convert cash to a card. Yep.
Now it's a certain
which was dope.
It's a certain distance from behind the players before the fans start. Right?
Oh yeah. You like the first 5 rows, you ain't getting nowhere there. Like I said, like this is my man, so I couldn't even say nothing to him. Like get close to him, I'm yelling at him because you couldn't get close to him. Even when I went to see him at the hotel. You talking through a glass like they wouldn't like that shit is locked the fuck down.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
so the mobile tickets on their phone and they scan it.
Oh, they just scan it.
Yeah.
That's unique, but that's definitely different, man. Do you feel like it's tougher with this situation compared to normal? Because normally it's they all over the country.
They all over. Like the practice time, like it ain't as crowded. So like you have everybody in Indianapolis is winning right now.
Oh
dog.
yeah,
they winning.
Oh yeah, everybody's
so like
killing them.
man, we flew in, couldn't get an Uber. I said an Uber, so rent-a-car was done. Like a rent-a-car was done. Like it was over. Like you couldn't get nothing. They talking about within 100 miles you couldn't get a rent-a-car.
Ooh, I want to see the gross numbers after this thing is over. They shouldn't have money, man.
I mean, that was a good look though, man.
Well, on another note, to switch it up a little bit from the women's side, this was a big topic recently with the women's. One of the players posted on their social media. Mm-hmm. She said that the men's workout gym was this big old space, and then she showed the women's, and it was a couple like a rack, a dumbbells, and she showed the big area where it was just empty. And the NCAA apologized when it got put out there, and within a day or two, they got a whole gym there.
Yeah, they was just focused.
What do y'all think about that?
But the crazy part is like seeing the men, like this motherfucker is. Reem is going live with everything. Like he showed the setup of the men like workout joint. Like they had a full football joint in their joint. Gym. Yeah, that shit was crazy. They went to the baseball field and did their workouts as well. But I mean, it shouldn't have been that bad. But the revenue is different.
I get the revenue part. Yeah. I get that the men.
This is WNBA fighting,
and everybody knows that. But I just feel like for the money that they bringing in, it shouldn't have been that disrespectful. Like, come on, dog.
And I know they
had the area.
They looking side eye whoever posted that, who made this shit. But like, God, then you gonna do this to us?
But you know you wrong. You know you wrong when you do swift action like that.
They was dead wrong, man. They had the motherfucking shake weights in there for the girls. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's disrespectful.
As seen on TV.
Well, before we get in the conversation with Coach Reem, it's one more thing left for this March Madness, man. Our predictions, our Final Four predictions, and who we got going to the championship and winning it, man. So let's go. We got the Sweet 16 right now. Who's your Final Four picks and who you got winning the chip? And it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough.
Want me to go?
Yeah, you want to not go ahead? I can think. You want to go? You want to go, Freaks?
I don't know if y'all want me to go.
Go ahead, Freaks.
The bias guy, my team.
You go last, man.
My team is definitely in here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start from over with Gonzaga and Creighton, man. I got Gonzaga winning that. Then I got USC and Oregon. I got Oregon winning that game.
He said Final Four. This is Elite 8.
Oh, Final Four.
He was giving the whole tournament.
Yeah. My bad. Well, Final Four, I got Gonzaga and I got Michigan. I got Michigan. Well, we got to do the whole joint?
No, that's cool. Yeah, you got it right. That's it. Yeah, that's the Final Four.
Just the Final Four?
Yeah.
I got Gonzaga and Michigan, and I got Villanova and Loyola Chicago.
Woo! Yo, the crazy part is the only reason I'm kind of scared.
You got Loyola Chicago going to the okay.
Loyola Chicago going
the only reason I'm scared of that is because it's going to be hard for all number ones to go. So, I mean, that ain't bad. But
that'd be a great story. Who you got going to the chip and winning at the Final Four?
Well, after the Final Four, I got Michigan and Villanova in the chip. Villanova winning, man. I got it this our year, man. I'm just being real. I just think that we're that team that's going into that dynasty land, like the North Carolina, the Dukes. I'm giving you props. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you own right now watching me. So, I'm just man.
Have you been following?
Yes, I have.
So Gillespie's hurt, right?
Yeah.
When talent hit
next
talent,
man up. Next man up.
I'm with you.
Next man up.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not being realistic.
This dude.
Man, this is my mom.
This dude that had 3 fucking points all season and had 6 points against North Texas. This shit ain't gonna happen against a Baylor.
He might have 12. He might have 12.
Then that motherfucker ain't gonna see the floor.
Okay. All right, man. Go ahead, man.
Hey, man. It is what it is.
All right, man.
I got us beating Michigan, man, in the chip.
All right,
Call it what you want.
I'm going to go with Gonzaga. Gonzaga in the Final Four. Man, that Michigan FSU, I really like FSU and their coach, but I'm pulling for Juwan Howard, man. So I'm going to go Gonzaga, Michigan. That Michigan FSU game going to be crazy, though. Gonzaga, Michigan. Then I'm going to go with Baylor. Baylor going to knock Villanova off. I'm sorry. And I'm going to go with Houston. And in the chip, I'm going to go with my heart. I'm gonna go with Michigan versus Baylor, and I'm gonna go Michigan. I would think that'd be a dope story. I'm gonna go Michigan and Baylor in the chip. Michigan to win the championship Fab Five redeemed.
Yeah, I hate the fact that my Final Four is like probably just like yours. But only game I'm really scared of, I'm scared of that Houston-Syracuse game.
Yeah,
because Syracuse could pull this shit off.
Syracuse,
they definitely pull this off. I
wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse
best
won
coach,
on a run.
The probably one of the better coaches left. So I wanted to pick Houston, but I'm gonna go Syracuse coming out of that bottom bracket. I'm gonna go Michigan in the Final Four, Gonzaga and Baylor. I got in the championship Gonzaga and Baylor. I like Jawan's story, but I think this Gonzaga team tough as shit.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Gonzaga won it. My heart is saying Michigan, but Gonzaga is super tough, man.
The championship is a toss up. I probably pick Gonzaga on my bracket, but like Coach Tang and A. Brooks being at Baylor, man. I'm gonna go. I want Baylor to win it. I want him to get a chip. So, but even though I probably pick Gonzaga on my joint, but
either way, this is going to be definitely interesting to watch. Definitely interesting to watch.
Starts back up Saturday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they a little later than they normally.
But outside my fanism, I think Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan. What do y'all think about the Blue Bloods? Duke didn't make the tournament this year. Who was it? Kentucky didn't make the tournament this year. UNC barely made the tournament this year.
They wasn't good.
Kansas ain't really that great
Kansas
this
lost.
year.
They lost.
Yeah, they lost. So these are the teams that normally get the best players. They're normally number one seeds every year. They either didn't make it or barely make it. Like, is it a change of the guard?
Some of these teams had COVID scares. Like Duke had their best player quit. Like I'm done. Yeah. He came back from an injury and was like, nah, I ain't.
And they got kicked out of the ACC tournament because of COVID.
Right. So, dog, it's just one of them things. I think they'll get back to it next year. But like, I think Roy Williams' issue is always going to be he need upperclassmen. Like when you playing with all them freshmen, they ain't get it. He's. No, I mean, he's.
And then the one guy took the portal, man. The one.
Oh, you talking about the tall white boy? And it's crazy. But talking to Z on the phone, I guess one of his coaches coached that kid and told him never go to North Carolina because like he's a face up type. They, North Carolina running gun.
Right. Yeah, man. So it's interesting.
He might end up at Michigan though.
I think the one and done has caught up with them. I think because the caliber, I feel like the caliber of the players isn't as good as the one and dones in the past.
Did Duke win one with Zion in them?
No, not with Zion in them. No, I think Duke. The last time Duke won one.
Kyrie.
No. Did Okafor win one? I think it's been a while for Duke.
Okafor. Oh, Kyrie was before Okafor? I guess he was.
I don't know which one was first, but it's been a while for Duke, too.
I don't give a fuck about Duke.
Yeah, me for real. Me neither. me neither. But, man, that's it's definitely interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the tournament. What do y'all think of one more thing? What do y'all think about that transfer protocol portal, where you can just transfer randomly anywhere now?
So, me and Z were talking about this the other day, but the most crazy part about this shit is, like, they gonna go after these kids because you could play right away now. So normally you ain't gotta sit him on your red shirted kid. Yeah. Now you could come in and play right away. The crazy part is if you go look on that portal, you could Google it, college basketball portal. There's so many fucking names in there, dog. Like some of these kids gonna get left out.
The thing I like about it though is that the coaches is able to go and come whenever they want, and the players always had to suffer and wait a year.
Don't be on the bench. Be on the bench and the coach talking about you can come start, baby.
But the thing I don't like about it is that I feel like, in college, sometimes it's a process. Sometimes you may have to wait a year just to learn. Yeah. Now those players are going to be like, oh, man, I ain't wait. I'm out. Like, y'all stop me on the bench. I'm out now.
Yeah, make it register. Like, you got some kids that's fucking, like, killing at their league, but now you're going to go there and you're going to be in a timeshare.
Yeah.
Because, dog, like, you go to them high majors, you're a dime a fucking dozen.
Yeah, and see that, and that's where the decision-making is going to have to be crucial. The people that's giving you advice is going to have to be real crucial.
But you could be like a Javion, man, and just go to a mid-major and stand the fuck out.
Yeah. What about because we already had one kid that's going to a black college, right? That he's the top college prospect.
One that his brothers already. Yeah. I know you're talking about. But yo, man, we great. Get ready for our guests. Yo, we here at Concert Crew, man. We talking this March Madness, and we got some special guests here to join us today. They're representing North Texas, Mean Green. Mm-hmm. They made a hell of a run, man. We talking March Madness. They made a hell of a run in March Madness. Man, they put on for Texas, man. Everybody was shouting them out. I know that the season didn't end the way they wanted to, but still they had a great season. From North Texas, Mean Green, we got assistant coach Reem Javion. He been here for 4 years, and we got senior guard Javion Hamlet. Welcome to the Concert Crew podcast, fellas.
good, fellas?
Man, we got to put some respect on Javion's name. This is 2019-2020 Conference USA Player of the Year.
Woo!
2-time All Conference Conference USA.
Throw some stats at us.
Hold on. I'm not done. His accolades is crazy.
Let's get
2001 All Conference Tournament Player of the MVP.
Let's get it.
And then
what else? What else we got? Come on, run them down.
2001 All Conference USA Tourney.
Woo! 2001?
2021. I'm sorry. It's all the same. He's been there a long time.
Yeah, 2021.
He played like a vet.
Hey, it's cool, man. I understand you're a little nervous. You really got a real future star here in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, first of all, fellas, we know the season just ended for y'all. How would y'all sum up this season, this run y'all went on? Y'all won the conference title. Y'all made the NCAA tournament. Y'all had a great overtime upset win in round 1 of the NCAA tournament. Like, how do y'all feel looking back? I know y'all want to continue to play. Everybody does. But looking back at the overall season, like, how do y'all feel about it?
Go ahead, man. I didn't do anything. I was just on the sideline. It was everything that we imagined. You know, everything that I told Coach Reem that was going to happen, it happened. It was a great run, especially for the seniors. Especially dealing with all this COVID stuff.
It's crazy.
We had it hard at the beginning of the year. We had to shut down for 2 weeks because of COVID. So, just see all our hard work just paid off at the end. It felt great.
Well, how was it compared to last year? So, because last year y'all was on pace to make the tournament again. I mean, for the first time. Mm-hmm. COVID shut everything down. How was that, fueling for this year? And like, once it happened last year, how did that affect you?
When it first happened, we was all upset because, like you said, we was on pace to go do the same thing that we did this year.
If not better.
But coming into this year, it was kind of hard because, so many games kept getting canceled and we didn't never know who we were going to play. So we was just, just hoping that we do play those games. I think 4 of our games got canceled this year and we didn't play. But I knew it was going to be hard because with all this stuff going on and, like Coach Reem always preach, the more toughest team, they're going to come together and we're going to win it all. And that's what we did at the end. We came together and we won it all. But piggyback on last year, we weren't really be the best team to ever come through this year.
Oh, okay.
They ain't really nothing about,
Now, question, because of COVID this year, the tournament was canceled last year. This year they kind of isolated it. This isolated in Indianapolis. Everybody's in the same place. Did that make it? I know y'all have restrictions of where y'all. I know y'all pretty much probably couldn't go nowhere like that. How was that challenge of this year? This is a whole new kind of tournament. I mean, I know they wanted to get it in, but it's not the normal NCAA tournament. It's not regions all over the country. It's one place where everybody's coming pretty much. It's like a bubble, a bigger bubble like the NBA pretty much.
Man, it really wasn't even no challenge, man. Because we all wanted to be there. That's something we worked hard for, just to be there and just to be on that big stage. So none of us really complaining about it. We just, adapted to the situation. We went out there and just, take care of our business. So it really wasn't a challenge because it's something we wanted to do, and it's something that I dreamed about playing since I was young. So it was definitely.
Yeah, it was a good situation because. Unlike every road trip during the normal year, guys share rooms, but because of COVID, every guy had their own room, so they all were living like kings.
Wow, okay.
We all had, our entire team had the 20th floor, so we could be as loud as we want, we could do whatever we want because the 20th floor was ours,
So it was like every team was on a different floor? Is that how they did it?
Every team had a different floor.
Wow.
Every team had a different floor. But we all weren't in the same hotel. But
okay.
The way Indianapolis is set up, all the hotels are connected to each other. Wow. So you could walk through a walkway and never have to put outside.
Oh, so that's the perfect place to have it then. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. I think it was 5 hotels that was connected to it, and all the teams was in the hotels, So you was walking around, you might run into Izzo, you might run into Patino. I mean,
now,
everybody was running to everybody.
Do these hotels lead directly to where you play at, or are they separate from there? Oh, okay.
Nah, it's separate from there.
Okay.
But it led to the practice facilities though, because we had I want to say they had 24 different courts that we could practice on inside the same establishment as the hotels. The only time you left was to go play games, and you had to like go straight from there to the bus. You know, they were just monitoring you like that.
So back to last year. Last year you came in. North Texas has been good since the last 4 years. You won a CBI. You had a good record year 2. Year 3 you came in, no target on your back. This year you came in dealing with all the COVID and stuff like that. But now you got a target on your back because you had a player who left and went high major, but y'all still was the team to beat for the most part in all season. How was that dealing with that? Like with the target on your back? Like, look, everybody gonna give us our best shot right now.
We made it hard. Like every game we lost, I feel like we beat ourselves. Like and nobody like really just beat us. I wouldn't even say it was hard. It was just like so much pressure that I put on myself, and I put on my teammates, So I feel like they would have made it hard, instead of just like last year, like you said, I ain't had no target on my back. I was just playing free. So I feel like, it's mainly what I feel like. Like we made it hard for ourselves. Like, when you dealing with pressure and stuff, you feel like you trying to be so perfect, like you mess up. So as the year kept going down, I wasn't trying to be perfect. I was just playing, just playing freely.
So like the Western Kentucky game, you started off hot. I believe it was a 13-0 run, or was it 17? 17. So you get to 17-0, and then they push back. So now it's getting to that point in the game where it's crucial. They're hot. Y'all kind of like you're staying afloat because you had a big cushion. Like how was that like coming down the stretch? Like they know you gotta go to that left hand, but they can't nothing do with it. So like how is that like at that point in the game?
He's right-handed for the record too.
Man, he can't be right-handed though. He does everything with his left.
Nah, but like you said, like we had a big cushion. We know it's a long game. Reem come to me almost out. Second half, like, man, you got to take over. It's time to go now, So really just having that in the back of my mind, like I knew I couldn't lose that game. I don't care like what was going on. I just knew I couldn't lose that game because it was a lot of dollars that I wanted to shut up that I got to shut up. But just going into that, I just knew I couldn't lose that game. Like I told you, I texted and told you, I said I ain't coming home without the championship.
Damn sure did. Damn sure did.
Now that y'all had some time to reflect, looking back at the game against Villanova, and this guy right here, he's a big Villanova fan.
Yeah.
So
it was bittersweet.
It was
bittersweet, Ray. It was bittersweet, man. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from where we come from, anybody that's in position, that's doing something on the level and the scale that you're doing it on, we gonna always root for them. You know what I'm saying? So our heart is with you, but that's just been my mom forever, man. You already know how that shit go, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like Villanova, so don't worry about
but
it.
to do the whole thing justice, I didn't watch the game. I just didn't want to watch it. Whatever happened, it happened. But did I want y'all to win? Yes. Because, I know this guy. He's a coach. You know what I'm saying? We from Delaware, so, you know what I'm saying? It's different. You know what I'm saying? We got, we the first state, but motherfuckers don't look at us like that. So anytime we see somebody in that light, that come from where we from, we want to give them a big up.
He lying, man.
I'm just being real.
He a wildcat.
I was with Prophet. I was with Lenny. I was with all them guys.
But
I'm a wildcat.
You are, yeah.
Absolutely, I'm a wildcat.
Now that y'all had some time to look back at that game, what do y'all? How do y'all feel about it? The team, the performance. Things that could have been done different. How do y'all feel about the Villanova game?
And they would have missed like 3 or 4 threes. We would have been good. Yeah, we would have won that game. Like they just couldn't miss.
I felt like in the beginning, like y'all was bringing it. Like y'all really, I was like y'all wasn't just like happy to be there the way y'all came out. Like y'all, I was like, yo, they really taking it to them. And then they just started hitting them threes.
Yeah, they ain't never our mindset. Like we know we can play with anybody, so they ain't never our mindset.
Yeah, y'all came out like y'all belong. I love that. I love that. Like y'all came out there like we ain't here to just suit up. Like we taking it to y'all. I love that.
No, for sure. But like I said, they would have missed a couple of threes. I feel like we would have won that game.
I mean, they had. I mean, statistically, the last 5 games they struggled from 3. You know, they shot less than 30% the last 5 games. And then one of the kids, for his career, he's like 1 for 27 from 3. He made 2 against them, you know? So, like, it was just their night, man. You got to tip your hat to them. I always see the tweet on social media that Villanova is a Fortune 500 company. And they operate that way, man. From warm-ups to in-game, like, Jay Wright know what he's doing.
How was the atmosphere?
I playing in the NBA arena. It was great. Just being on that big stage, regardless. Like, you on the big stage.
Did it feel like the big stage? Did it feel like the big stage?
Yeah, even with not that many fans there, it's still like that was my first time ever playing in the NBA arena. So I feel like, you know, March Madness, the whole world watching. Even if they not there, they watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Was that your scout, Coach Reem?
I think what was cool about that game is Jim Nance was doing the game. And, you know, he's
big time.
I told my staff before the game, we're going to win this game because Jim Nance only do, like, historical stuff. You know what I mean? But I didn't expect Villanova to hit 16 feet.
Yeah, the other dude was a hater, though. I muted my TV.
Yeah.
Yo, but so you recruited Javion, right? Coach Reem? What did you see this in him? Did you know, prior to him coming to North Texas that he was this special?
Not this special. I'll be lying to you. Not this special. I know the confidence that he had in himself, and the belief that he had in himself, was definitely up there with on Mount Rushmore kids that I recruited. You know, but a lot of kids, they talk it and they say they want to do this and they want to do that and how bad they want it, but he definitely the GOAT, you know, as far as living up to what he said he's going to do. And I got a trend of text messages before he came to campus, and he said what he was going to do. And like I tell all kids, all right, man, don't talk my head off, show me. You know what I mean?
And he did it.
And he did it.
How was it recruiting him though? Was he hard to catch up with? You know what I'm saying, or was he?
No,
he was
hard to catch up.
You know, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people was on it besides you.
Nah, it was on him. You know, but what I did, I wanted to be different than everybody else recruiting him. And his freshman year, when he was at Motlow Junior College, he had a knee surgery, and I went to the hospital before he went in for surgery. I was there. And I stayed there until he woke up from surgery, you know, just to show him that I ain't about just basketball. I'm going to be here, you know what I mean, do the good in the bag, you know what I mean? So it didn't work out that way the first time. You know, he tweeted out that he was going to Buffalo. He went to Buffalo, broke my heart, you know. It was tough, but you got to respect kids' decision, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't hate for it, you know, because
you normally do hate people, Reem.
In this profession, you're gonna be told no a lot more than you're gonna be told yes. You know?
Right.
So it is what it is. And then, you know, he went to Buffalo. He didn't like it after 2 weeks, and you know he contacted some people. You know, he can answer the rest after that. You know.
So yeah, Javion, what made you choose North Texas? Eventually,
when I first got up to Buffalo, it was just something like on my heart. I'm like, damn, like, shit, I ain't do that right. Like, I ain't do that right. And I was blessed enough to be in a position where I can, you know, go back and do it again. You know, like I told him, I was like, man, I don't care who recruit me, I'm coming to North Texas. I'm committed on my birthday. And that's exactly what I did. But then nobody believed me though. Like, everybody thought I was going to go high age, this and that. I was like, no, I'm going to North Texas. You know, my mom and me talked to me for like 2-3 weeks. I had committed to Texas, you know. But I knew it was a place for me, you know, and I felt it in my heart. And worked out for itself.
So when did the high majors get on you? I mean, just from knowing the situation, you wasn't a 5-star recruit. They didn't know no better. Like, you know, they didn't know you would blossom into what you are today. So How many offers did you let them know? How many offers you had when you came out of high school?
I had 0 offers. I was like me and my dad, and I called my uncle. He like Carlos, he trained me back home. We were driving around like everywhere, like trying to get me in school. Like, I go play pickup at junior colleges, and they'd be like, "Nah, he ain't good enough," you know. And these the same junior colleges that when I went to Marlow, I played them in the season. And I had like 30 on them, and they'd be like, and, you know. But yeah, we would drive around the colleges, and they wouldn't take me. So they really broke my heart. So when people do me like that, I always have like, I ain't gonna say a grudge, but like it's always in the back of my mind, you know.
No, they feed your fire, and I respect that, man. You don't get bitter about it. You just go ahead and you use that shit and like, I'm gonna see you again.
Yeah.
So. Make you regret every minute of
that. That's dope, man. So overall, both of y'all, this is a question for both of y'all. The whole March Madness experience, like, what do y'all feel? Like, how would y'all describe the whole March Madness experience? Because I feel like it's like no other sport.
I'll definitely give him a 10. I mean, a lot of the old veteran coaches who've been there a lot, they said, man, you missing out on the normal one where you get to see the fans and all that type of stuff. And, you know, more than likely next year we'll go back to the normal stuff, you know, for March Madness. But I like doing this one because it's a unique one and it's been different than any other March Madness. You know what I mean? So I felt like we were a part of history, not just in the win that we got, but in the March Madness that we participated in. I gave it a 10, man. It was awesome.
I gave it a 10 because, like I said, the whole world watched. The world watched big stage, and it's something you dream about, and you just go show the whole world that you belong.
And not only that, like everybody, you know for a fact, it's a lot more people watching now due to the COVID and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I already know, man. That probably is like a different energy out there, man. Word.
Yeah, like I did an interview with the news today, like Channel 3 back home, and they were saying like everybody in the city like talking about me now. Like it's crazy.
That's how it's supposed to be, baby.
My mom called me. She had on the North Texas shirt. She was in the grocery store, and they had asked her. They were like, "Who your son? Like, do your son play for North Texas?" When she told them like, "Well, they want to take pictures with her and everything."
So I was gonna say that I know you're on top of Texas right now, but it seems like you're on top of the world, which would be kind of new. So how do you stay grounded for the next process? Because I know you're not done. Like I know this ain't the end for you. I know the next level, wherever it is gonna be amazing. But how do you stay grounded?
I ain't even embrace all of it. Like, I can't even embrace it. Like I was telling Reem like last year, like when I won like Player of the Year and stuff, I can't embrace nothing like that because I ain't never won nothing like that. Like, I ain't never been in the position that I am now. You know, so I can't even. I don't think I know. Just keep working. Keep my head down. Just keep working.
So what's the process now from now until I graduate in April? Like, what's the next step from this point to?
Everything that I dream about going to do, take care of my mama now. Bro, make it to the league.
My man.
That's it. Make it to the league.
You looking forward to any like the training camps or anything that they gonna probably be having and all that?
Yeah, I'm signed with an agent and we're gonna take care. He's gonna go from there.
Let's go. That's
right.
Go. I love it.
So, Jareem, you've been coaching for how long? 15 years?
16.
16. You finally made it. How was that like? How was that road to get you to this point? Like, how were you able to embrace the moment like you did? Like, man, watching your Instagram is just like being there in itself.
You live with it. You are live with it.
I know you grew a following too.
You the livest coach on live.
Man, it's the worst shit ever, man. I felt bad. I thought he was going to jail. At one point, they in the ice joint and they getting their treatment, and the lady was like, no, that's pictures, right? He's like, yeah, nothing but pictures. I'm like, motherfucker, I hear her. Like what are you doing? He's recording every damn thing.
We getting all the experience.
But yeah. So how was that, Reem? Like coming up like through the trenches, man. I know you started at Cecil, but you go ahead and finish the rest.
No, it was great, man. I mean, it was great. And like I told my staff and I told the players, like I've probably been on 4 or 5 other teams that could have made it, but I like making it with this team, you know, because I liked everybody on the team. I liked everybody on my staff. So it just made the whole experience fun, you know. I honestly, at one point, I thought I was going to be Charles Barkley at coaching. Never been with Charles. For real.
Now, Coach Reem, let me ask you a question as a coach. This is a new generation of players. They got new likes. They got all these different technology, social media era. Like, how do you stay connected? Because just from watching you live and stuff, you can see that there's connection with these players. How do you stay connected with this generation of players now as a coach?
Music is probably the first and foremost.
Yep.
You know, being as though y'all are professionals at, you know, that's in music and all that stuff. You know, we argue every day.
Really?
He thinks Lil Baby the GOAT. He thinks he's the greatest rapper of all time.
Who was that?
Never over Jay-Z. You know, and we argue about it every day.
Lil Baby.
Oh,
you said Lil Baby the GOAT?
I can see that. I can see your generation.
I'm talking about my generation.
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, now he's trying to justify it on here. You know, but like, you know, that's basically it. But then, you know, I just use real life stories, you know, when I'm around my players. And then I bring real people around them, like Tez and Marquise Lopez. And, you know, I bring real people around them to see that, like, I don't just have basketball people in my life. I have real people. Right, so when they see real friends and my brothers, they understand, like, okay, this ain't just superficial. It ain't just basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're getting to see all aspects of my life, from my wife to my brothers. You know what I mean? So that's how I stay connected with them, because I let them in. You know what I mean?
So it's a true family atmosphere. True family atmosphere. Sure. I love it. I love it. That's beautiful.
So they heard about the good stuff. The North Texas. This is the dream come true. But tell them a little bit about your story, like how you came up in the rankings.
Still want Javion on here?
I mean, if Javion, I know he's Hollywood, man. He got a lot of things to do, man. if you want to go ahead and enjoy the rest of your time, man, enjoy your time in Texas, because you got about another month, player. Know what I mean? Just go enjoy the city, man. I appreciate you, man. Yo, good luck. Best of luck.
Salute. Best of luck, man. Keep doing your thing, man. We proud of you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send the pictures to them when you're done. Man, can you give him a pen? Yeah. That's my wife right there in the kitchen. She gonna be pissed at me, but she in the kitchen.
This dude, yo, why you always doing the most, man?
I don't want no problem with your wife, dog.
Yeah. So, talk to me, Tez. What you got now?
Nah. I'm a professional, man. You don't call me Tez on camera. Nah. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Like how you came up in the rankings. Like, I mean, I know the story, but the world needs to know this. Like how you started, because it ain't always been like this.
Nah, it ain't always been like this. Originally from St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Tim Duncan, Raja Bell, to name a few. That's you know, the same island as them. And then I came to Delaware in '97. I stayed with Judge Roslyn Tolson over on North Side. On say 24th and Washington. You know, 24th and 25th in Washington. Those, you know, those spots I lived at. Went to Howard High School.
Wow.
When I went to Howard High School, I was just the fifth man on the team, but you know, I played with Carlos. You know, who was
absolutely,
he was like that.
Yeah, it was a problem. It was a problem.
I played with Marquise Lopez, who was like that in school as well.
Yep.
You know, you know, went through high school in Delaware, learned a lot about myself as a young teenager in Delaware. Then after I was done with Howard High School, went on to Cecil Community College. That's where I played ball at, you know, because I didn't have any Division I offers, et cetera, like that. So
that's why you like Javion so much.
Nah. Yeah. You don't know how to put your initials?
No, I'm saying, like, I don't know which one to sign because he got so pumped up.
Let me see. Hold on a second. He's signing to his agent right now.
Woo! Big deal. Big deal.
Reem out here closing
big
deals.
deal. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, Reem must be part of Clutch. He like
Yeah, don't worry about that, but just initial up there though.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Listen, this real.
So I went to Cecil, played there, got injured, so I was there for 3 years. Then I went on to Maryland Eastern Shore, played there for 2 years, got my ass kicked. 2 years. I think I might have won 13 games in 2 years of being there.
But what was the highlight of UMES?
Of course, 27 against Baylor, and then breaking Darren Williams' jaw. I helped him get to the NBA. So we're boys now. We're cool. We're not boys now, but he know who I am. He don't walk by me, without knowing who I am.
Broke his jaw.
Yeah. They were pressing. They were up 40, and they were pressing us, and he was guarding my point guard. So I ran ahead to half court. And I stopped, and I told my point guard, "Come on!" So he came full speed, and I just boom.
This is chubby Darren Williams, by the way.
Damn, you just cut yourself. You cut yourself off out of that Brooklyn Nets check he was still getting for all them years, man.
Nah, he got love, Reem. He helped him get there. Like, that was chubby Darren Williams. Man, he came back the next year in shape after his mouth was wide. Straight to the league.
Gave him an encouragement.
Man, a lot of money. And then after that, I got into coaching after playing at UMES. Because my last coach that I had at UMES, he was not a good person. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I want to get into coaching because my junior college coach, Bill Lewitt, he had so much of an impact on my life. I was like, I can give back by coaching. So I said, if I got into coaching, I could take out a bad person like the last coach that I played for. You know what I mean? So I got into coaching, went to Cecil. I was there for 3 years, won 97 games in 3 years. We were 97-6, won a national championship.
Wow.
After that, went on to Slip Rock University in Pennsylvania. It's in a PSAC with teams like Cheney, Kutztown, those type of schools. Had success there, had a winning season for 3 years there. Something the school has never done. Went to 2 NCAA tournaments. It had been like 40 years since they've been to the tournament. Then I got my Division I opportunity at Morehead State the same year Kenneth Fareed graduated. So I came in after him. Had a subpar year, but then my head coach at the time was able to get another job at Southern Miss. Went to Southern Miss, had major success there. Won 29 the first year, 30 the second year, went to NIT both years back to back. And then my head coach got the Tennessee job. And when he got the Tennessee job, he demoted me, because at Southern Miss, we got into it, at Southern Miss, about recruiting and all this different type of stuff.
So he got personal on his go out.
Yeah.
Man, he went out. He on a go out. He tried to do you dirty.
Yeah, and it was easier for him to do it going to Tennessee than at Southern. Because at Southern Miss, I was helping him get it done there. You know what I mean? Right. So he couldn't demoted me there. So that was his opportunity to try to humble me. You know what I'm saying? So probably 2 or 3 weeks after being there, the new head coach that got hired at Southern Miss, the AD knew what I did as far as recruiting and player development there at Southern Miss. So the head coach called me and asked me if I wanted my old job back. Wow. So I called my 2 mentors and I talked to them. I said, what y'all think? They was like, yeah, rent a one-way car and drive back. So I met up with the head coach of Tennessee. I told him, I said, look, I'm going back to Southern Miss. And he looked at me like, damn, you about to leave Tennessee? So I was like, yeah, I'm out. I went back to Southern Miss, was there for a year. Then the NCAA investigation broke, and there was investigating my former coach, went through the whole process, lost my job, because I worked on staff, where the alleged violations happened. So after that, I was kind of in shambles, and didn't know what the next step was going to be because an NCAA investigation usually takes a year. So nobody's going to hire you for a year. Nobody's going to, want to touch you until the NCAA comes up with their findings, like you're guilty or not. So I went to prep school for a route.
So before you get too far into that, at that point, did you think you would ever coach D1 again?
Yeah, because I had the right people in my corner.
Okay.
I had the right people in my corner. I had the right relationships. and I did nobody wrong. You know what I mean? I had good relationship and meaningful relationship with people that I knew once the opportunity presented itself that, you know, I would get a shot again.
Okay.
I just when it was going to be, you know. So I did prep school for a year. It was a new prep school, no history there, so I had to recruit guys there. I got 2 of my former players to come be assistant coaches for me for little or nothing. And we turned it into a respectable prep school in 1 year. I think we had 6 or 7 Division I players.
Okay.
Had a couple kids from Delaware. I had Juwan Gray from Delaware.
Okay.
I had Lamar Hamlet from Delaware. Both of those guys, you know, we helped get Division I schools to. I think our biggest recruit went to UNLV.
Wow.
So we had success, man. We had success, played on the national stage in prep school, etc. And then after that year was up, the NCAA investigation was over. I got an opportunity to be a D1 coach again and went to Arkansas State and then had success there with my head coach, who is my head coach now, Grant McCaslin. And when I got there, our biggest win there was Georgetown. We beat Georgetown at Georgetown.
Wow.
At Arkansas.
Okay.
It was a major upset. Tesman was in the building. I know he says he's a professional, but he's Tesman. So he was in the building watching the upset. And then after that, we got the North Texas job after that. But that's when life got a little shaky for me. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was going through then, you know, but, you know, now that I know what it is, I was going through a depression, you know, where I didn't know what was going on. I was calling Tesman like 100 times a day. I probably went 4 or 5 days with no sleep. You know, my career was in jeopardy, but not because of basketball. You know, it was in jeopardy because of my mental health, you know. And throughout the process, I went to the hospital 6 different times on my own, late night, you know, not knowing what was going on to me, you know. So I was going to the hospital like, yo, I don't feel right. My heart's hurting, this and that. They're doing EKG. They're doing everything. They're like, yo, it's perfectly fine, you know. But my mind, you know, as the old rap song, I don't know who to do this. My mind
playing tricks on me.
Yeah, that was a Ghetto Boy version, Ali Reem.
Yeah, see, I wasn't the rap then, you know what I mean? But I know the song. You know what I mean? So, I was struggling, man. I was struggling. I was going through a depression, man, because I lost my brother at that point, probably 6 or 7 years ago. But I never shed a tear when I lost him. I lost my brother to suicide, you know. And the same day, Tesman drove up with the judge from Delaware, you know what I mean? And that was crazy, huh? I know. Javion going crazy. You hear that noise in the background? My wife gave him some food, so he's straight from the plate. But I went through.
This ain't a violation, is it?
Man.
Just making sure.
Yeah, we don't want no problems, man.
Just making sure, man.
We don't want no problems, man.
So, I bet. So I was going through the depression again, not knowing what I was going through, and I told Tesman when I came on here that I really didn't want to talk as much basketball as he would like me to, because I respect y'all platform. Yeah. And I know a lot of people watch y'all platform. So I wanted to know that, like, successful people do go through shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was in a dark place, man. I was in a dark place. It really got bad when I was going to see my daughter in Baltimore. I was on a flight leaving Arkansas. And I called Tesman and I was like, yo, I ain't feeling right, you know? Like, I was paranoid. And I wasn't willing to get on the next flight, you know? So I called him. I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on with me, you know? So he's like, yo, I'm going to get you a hotel, get a little hotel. So the people at the airport was looking at me like I was crazy, you know, because I was tripping. I wasn't like yelling or nothing, but I just wasn't in my right state of mind, you know? Right. So I called Tesman. I called one of my coworkers, Ross Hodge, and told him, like, look, man, I ain't feeling right. I need help. I don't know what's wrong with me. So they called the ambulance at the airport. So the ambulance came, checked, did test on me. They told me I'm fine, but I'm like, nah, I'm not fine. So I go to the hotel that Tesman checked me into, and I'm still tripping, man. I'm tripping. Like, my mind is not sane. You know what I mean? So I'm calling Tesman all night. I'm calling him all the way until 4 a.m. I'm calling him, calling Jerome Tang. I'm calling Bill Lewitt. I'm just calling anybody in my Rolodex that I trust with my life, you know?
Yeah.
And Tesman was like, you know, he was giving me hard criticism, telling me, yo, you fine, get right, you good. And it just wasn't happening. So I called 911 from the hotel, you know, and ambulance showed up, strapped me to the
gurney,
the bed. Yeah.
Wow.
Rolled me out, took me to the hospital. When they took me to the hospital, I'm in the hospital. My sister's FaceTiming me like, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm telling her, like, I don't feel right. So I'm paranoid, thinking the nurses and the doctors trying to get me, you know, because when you're going through a mental situation and you really don't have a grip of what's going on, you think everybody's out to get you.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So
seen that.
I'm just like freaking out. They're like, yo, you're fine. They did all the tests. I leave the hospital and they take me back to the hotel, and I call the hospital again, and they came and got me again. Right. Yeah. So this time when they checked me in, they had me overnight. Coach Tang sent one of his guys from Chicago to come check with me, like give me some food and give me a ride back to the what is it called? To the hotel. But I wasn't willing to get in the car with him, you know? So I was sitting in the hospital and the people was like, yo, you gotta leave. So I don't got no cell phone. I don't got no money. I ain't got nothing. So I walk outside. I ain't got no jacket. It's Chicago. It's the middle of winter.
Oh, man.
Okay?
I know.
So,
I know that was crazy.
Yeah, so it was crazy. So they called the cops on me, and it was like, yo, you got to get off the property. You know what I mean? Else we're going to arrest you. I'm like, damn, yo, like, I need help. And y'all put me out there like this. Right. You know what I mean? So I walked outside, and I started walking. I made a left, and I started walking. I saw a 7-Eleven. And the only number I know by heart is Tesman number because it's easy to remember. So I call him, you know, from the phone, asking the dude at the counter, can I use the phone? And I used the phone to call him, and I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, where you at? I'm like, yo, I'm at a 7-Eleven. You know, I don't even know where I'm at, you know. So he calls a taxi for me to come pick me up. And I wouldn't get in the taxi, you know, because I'm tripping. So he calls back the store yelling at me like, yo, get in the taxi. I paid for this taxi. Get in the taxi. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I don't trust this dude. But again, that's my mental health. It's freaking out.
Yeah.
You know? So eventually I got back to the hotel. The lady looked out for me. And then one of my foster brothers drove all the way from Baltimore and came to pick me up in Chicago and drive me all the way back to Maryland, you know, from Chicago. So got back. I try to speed the process up and making myself feel better so I can keep my job at North Texas. So I went to North Texas. I came. Even when I got to North Texas, I still was tripping, man. You know, my staff was trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I was blessed enough to have the judge who took care of me, Rosalind Tosin, her son is a big-time doctor here in Texas, Charles Tosin. And she called him and told him what I was going through. So he was like, yo, he picked me up. He came and picked me up. He said, all right, I can't help you if you don't tell me the truth or what's going on to you. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. You know, I just didn't feel right. You know, he was like, are you on drugs? You know, do you have AIDS? Like, you know, he's asking me all these questions. I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I took an AIDS test. I took all of them. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. So he was like, the only way I can help you help yourself is have you checked into a hospital. So I was like, huh? So he's like, yeah, that's the only way I can help you help yourself. So he checked me into a mental hospital. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah, so them scenes that you see on TV where people are strapped in and all that stuff, I checked into one of those, but they didn't strap me up or nothing. but I checked into one of those. And I was in there for like 3 or 4 days, going to the different therapy classes, learning about myself, learning about mental health, and just peeling back stuff of trauma from the time I was a young kid that I didn't know that kind of caught up to me, including the death of my brother, you know what I mean? Because I never grieved him, properly. So after about 3 days, because I seen everybody around me like freaking out way more than me,
right.
I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
right.
Good. You know what I mean? So you could check yourself out whenever you want. Okay. So after that, I said, I'm good. So I called my brother. I was like, yo, I'm good. And I left. And because I wasn't real with myself, I collapsed even harder. You know what I mean? When I got to his house and I was spending time with him, and his wife, Darren, I said, I need to go back, man. I need to go back. And they was like, what? I was like, yeah, I need to go back, man, because I don't feel right. I called Tez, I called Z. Lopez was in jail at the time, so Tezman is updating Lopez what's going on. Lopez trying to call me, but I don't want to talk to him because I'm embarrassed of the state that I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went back, man, and I was in there for 2 weeks, man, and I learned a lot about myself, and I learned how much your mental health really means to you. Everybody thinks it's about working out. Everybody thinks it's about eating right. You know what I mean? But there's so much more to mental health that people don't give credit to, And like, it's the one thing I wish for my daughter and my unborn kids that, me and my wife gonna have is I wish that their mental health is the most important thing to them. Because now when I see on TV, people making accidents in their life, doing something that you look like, damn, why you do that? Mm-hmm. It's because people are getting the help that they need to control their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And I told Tesman, man, like I had to share the short version of the story on your podcast because as Black men, we're supposed to be tough. We're not supposed to be vulnerable. We're not supposed to ever show weakness. But I was at a low point, man. But I had brothers like Tez and Z and Lopez and Charles Tolson and George Tolson in my corner that I was able to bounce back bigger, better, And I mean, it was challenging because even during that time, my dad was criticizing me for being in the hospital. So even your own family can cause you trauma and stress and make it harder on you because they don't understand. You know what I mean? But I didn't mean to like go off on this tangent with y'all.
No.
That's actually great because that's kind of been a big topic in the Black community like the last few years. Like the fact that we don't take our mental health serious. Like we just kind of we kind of put it to the back and just kind of live life and a lot of times it catches up with us in a big way, like you said. So what would you say now that you shared that story? I appreciate you sharing that story because I think a lot of people need to hear that. But what would you say to somebody or people that may be listening to this or know somebody that's dealing with mental health situations? What would you say to them after going through your experience?
It's okay. It's okay that if you not feeling well, we can't all be perfect and feel great every single day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just human nature. We all gonna have ups and downs. The one part I forgot to share with y'all was when the lady first told me after I was leaving the hospital that she was gonna set me up with therapy sessions to get like a therapist. I skipped the first 3 therapist appointments because I was like, I ain't crazy. I don't need to talk to a therapist. You know what I mean? I don't need a therapist. And finally, she got me this great lady named Janae Francis, who was like, just this lady that ain't gonna put up with no crap, And it's the best thing I've ever done, is getting therapy. And now I do it once a month. I got a neighbor, Pastor Wendell Stevens, who counsels me Monday through Wednesday, and it's just good to talk to people outside of your normal comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot more about yourself and you get to invest in yourself, and we don't do that as human beings, black or white. We don't do that as human beings.
So guarded, man, and I don't know why. And I think a great deal of why I went to college and I met people that was different than the type caliber individual that I am, or of my comfort zone of friends. And when you get around them different people, you start thinking different. You know what I'm saying? And interacting, you know, with each other in different ways, and you learn about them, they learn about you. And it's crazy because my grandfather always told me, he said, man, listen, you'll tell some of the most deepest stories about yourself to somebody that's a stranger that probably become your friend off the story. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought about that. I was like, man, you sure? Because I don't, because you know how we are. We guarded. We like, man, I don't know you, man. I ain't saying too much. But when you actually meet that person that opens you up and y'all open each other up like that, that'll be that stranger that you're talking to. And the whole time he become your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
so, and that was one of, well, you answered both my questions because I was going to ask you, who was that person inside when you went to the hospital, and who was that person outside that, you know what I'm saying, would coexist with both of them, with knowing you that the things that they attacked on, with dealing with the individual that you are and what you grew to tell them and what they grew to tell you?
Man, it was a older dude, and he was what was he? I want to say he was a judge, because that's the crazy part about being in there. They had an NFL player in there.
Wow.
They had doctors in there.
Wow.
They had lawyers in there.
Wow.
And one of the ladies told me she just comes in on the weekend just to get a mental break.
Wow.
So it was wild to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you see him, because we're all in these uniform type things, and so you can't tell that he's successful or he's not successful. We all look alike.
Right,
you know
right.
So
that's deep.
It was crazy, because I'm sitting down in the class, and he's like, yeah, I got a $5 million house, but I'm in here because I can't keep my mind right. You know what I mean? Because I'm a danger to myself. I'm in here. You know, so I was learning from successful people, and it made me put my guard down in there.
Yeah.
Like, these are some really successful people. And then the one lady that said that she only comes in on the weekend to give herself a break from the week, because you can't have no cell phones in there. You can't have nothing. It's just, it's very similar to a jail cell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very similar. The shiny toilet bowl, the water that you hit, and it stops after about 2 seconds. Ain't no none of that. You know what I mean? And on the outside, coming back, Tesman, Dr. Hunter Taylor, who's at Ole Miss, he came to Chicago to try to help me when I was going through my stuff. Coach Tang. It's so many people that I don't want to leave out, you know what I mean, that helped me get back on my feet. But I want to give a lot of credit to my head coach, man, because he was very, very patient with me to get back on my feet. Right? And the other coaches that I work with, Ross Hodge at the time, James Miller at the time, they were patient in wanting me to get back to my full strength. Yeah. And the funny story is, I signed 3 players while being in the hospital.
Wow, look at God.
So, like, I was able to sign 3 players for our new school while being in the hospital. One of them, who was a first-team All-American junior college player. So I was still able to get work done, but my coworkers just allowed me to recover without rushing me. And I owe that to them, Jerome Tang, for having my back. It was incredible, man. But to anybody that's listening, man, if you're not feeling okay, it's okay to get help, man. Yeah, it really is, man. It's okay to get help, man. And speaking to my therapist once a month, and then I went 3 or 4 months without trying to do it, seeing and it just don't be right, But when I talk to her, I can tell her anything, and she can help give me direction or tell me, you're overthinking this, this is simple. And we just need to reach out, man, and have good friends like, Tez and Z and Lopez and people that ain't going to judge you when you're down,
Mental health is real, man. I'm glad you shared that. That's a big message that I think a lot of people need to hear. So I'm very glad that you were able to share that. As far as that, how has two questions. How long? I know it's always a work in progress, but how long did it take you to where you felt like you were getting back to the old you? And then how has this experience helped you as a man and as a coach?
Man, that's a great question, bro. That's a real good question. It's an ongoing battle. Mental health don't just stop. That's the biggest misconception that everybody has. It just goes away. It's a fight that you gotta fight every day. You know what I mean? It's something that you gotta carry on, and that you gotta chip away at it every single day to make yourself better. And the best thing is I can be real with my wife. I can tell her when I'm not feeling good. I could be real with my coworkers. I could tell them when I'm not feeling good, because me and my coworkers have that kind of relationship. It's not just a business relationship. It's actually, we care about each other's well-being. And the fact that I can do that has been able to help me stay ahead of it, because the moment you relax and you say, I got it figured out, then, that's when you could spiral out of control. But one of the best things that made me feel okay about it, my brother, Dr. Charles Tosin, he said to me when he picked me up the final time coming out of the hospital, and he said to me, and he's successful. He's a big time orthopedic doctor. And he says, I'm jealous of you, bro. I said, why are you jealous of me? I'm coming out of the hospital. Like, why are you jealous of me? He said, because as human beings, we all have something wrong with us, and most of us will never figure it out. And you were able to find out what your issues were, and now you can work on it to be a better person every day. So it's just made me more in tune with my players. It's made me in tune with my wife. It's made me in tune with my peers, my brothers, to where I understand, like, when you see something going on with somebody, you gotta get to the bottom of it. And it can't be like a rush job. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. If you really care, you gotta really care, and Coach Jerome Tang, who's the associate head coach at Baylor.
Who played Villanova next?
Yeah, he played, yeah. They gonna whip Villanova.
Yeah, take them out. Take them out, man.
He said to me, when you ask a person a question, you don't ask them one time. You don't say, like, how you doing? And just be it. Because they ain't going to really give you the real answer. You got to say, how you doing the first time? They're going to tell you a little bit. Then you're going to say, next time you be like, now, how are you really doing? You know what I mean? And they'll tell you a little bit more. And then the last time you say to them, like, all right, let's be real with each other. What's going on? Talk to me. And then that's when a person gives you more of what's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Huh? You want to go? Okay. All right. So we got invited to a Mavs game tomorrow, Sweets. So the wife just told me she wants to go.
You mean tonight? Tonight, not tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to the Memphis game tonight. Memphis and Boise State.
Oh,
sorry,
Lord.
fellas.
You everywhere.
Yeah.
So, man, when we addressed that, I knew you was going to go there. But now, back-to-back champs, baby. How does that So what's the next step to this now? Like now, you got to get back to work. Like, this over. You went to the NCAA. You made it to the round of 32. Now, we got to start preparing for next year. How does that process start? When does that process start?
And it's crazy right now because the game has changed, man. I don't know how much y'all pay attention to college basketball, like to the detail of it, but now kids can transfer from any university.
The transfer portal thing.
I seen that.
That's crazy.
I seen that.
So they don't have to.
You don't have to wait. Yeah, I seen that.
Play right away. So
I seen that.
Every minute it's a new name in the transfer portal, so it's.
Told you, Z.
It's nonstop. It's nonstop right now. We're trying to reload. We ain't trying to rebuild. That's the difference,
Has that made it? Has it made it more the transfer portal? Has that made it more difficult, or has it made it easier because you got players you can choose from at the end of each season? Like how do the coaches feel about that?
I don't know particularly. I can't speak for everybody on my staff,
right?
But for me, I like it. Here's why I like it. All the line that goes on in college basketball.
yeah.
If you ain't keeping it real with your players, you're gonna lose them.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about that because I tell them the truth whether they like it or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I welcome it. They want to have freedom and they want to be able to go where they want to go. Cool. You know, like. But one thing about kids coming to North Texas, we always gonna tell them the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Ross Hodge likes to say we're truth tellers. You know, and that's what we do, man. We tell them the truth, man. I work on the best staff in the country. You know, Grant McCaffrey, Ross Hodge, Matt Brower, Nelson Haggerty, our entire support staff. We're dope, man.
All right, Reem, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I think we all know this. We all sitting in this room know this. And I'm being real with you. We've seen a lot of great head coaches. Well, we've seen a lot of good head coaches, especially in football. And one thing that a school, a team, or a franchise looks at is the next man to run their organization. Mm-hmm. Your name come across that table, head coaching. How is that going to get handled? I'm not trying. I don't want you to think, you know what I'm saying, like boo, boo, boo. But, we know how this thing go. You know what I'm saying? And you probably deserve it.
Next man up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, again, truth teller, man. Like, if our head coach leaves, Ross Hodge, our associate head coach, he deserves to be the next head coach here. You know, I tried the only job I ever applied for, I didn't get as a head coach. UMES, my alma mater. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's every job I've ever gotten was off a recommendation. You know, nice. So I like living that way versus applying for a job. The only time I apply for a job is after I get it already. You know, so I just gotta do the paperwork part. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But they fuck up. That's why that record is what it is.
No, man, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Right.
Because that's what the next people look for, and then here comes your name. Like, yo, man, we think, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. So it's just a thought, man. Because I see like from everything that you told me, man, it's like building relationships with you, and I know you're building relationships with everybody that's around you, especially your teammates. Like you said earlier, like you went there for the brother's surgery. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So, like I know it's like a hard thing. It's like going somewhere and you fall in love and then, something happens. And I know that's going to happen with coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because you see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to ask that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like being real and, being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, if anything happened, anything shake down, tell Ted to share it with y'all because he'll be one of the first people
to know. Now we talked about the second round loss to Villanova, but I want to go back to the first round
win.
The upset.
I knew you was going to win that
overtime against Purdue. Like, go back to that game and what was y'all mindset going in? How did y'all feel during the game? How did y'all feel after? Like, just describe that whole win because that was a big upset. It may not have been an upset to y'all, but to the country, it was an upset. I know y'all came in there confident. I'm pretty sure y'all were.
Yeah, we came in confident because our head coach, man, he crazy, man, because he staff meetings and he wants to play anybody, anywhere, at any time. And like Javion said, we had probably about 4 or 5 games canceled. We were supposed to play LSU. It got canceled because of COVID. During the year, we played Arkansas. We played Mississippi State. We played Loyola Chicago, who's in the Sweet 16 right now. We played them at their spot. Who else do we play? I forgot. We played a couple other big teams.
West Virginia.
We were prepared. Who?
West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia. We played West Virginia on a one-day notice because we got our games canceled, and we went out, flew out, and played West Virginia the next day with one-day notice.
Wow.
So in all those games that we played, we were right in the game, but we either wasn't in shape enough because of the COVID pauses, or we just hadn't played enough games to gel well. So we were very confident going into the Purdue game, especially with them having younger guards. You know what I mean? Even though they're a high major team, we were very confident going in. And once the ball went in a few times to start the game, the fellas realized that, oh, we could play with these dudes, you know? Mm-hmm. And our guys perform when there's a crowd, even though it was in Lucas Oil Stadium. They allowed 10,000 people to the game, which was the biggest
crowd y'all seen probably.
Yeah. And 9,500 of those fans was Purdue fans. And we had our 500 North Texas fans. You know, wow. Tesman and Lopez and my wife was in the section going crazy with them. And the fellows just they balled out, man. They balled out. It was unbelievable, man. It's an unbelievable feeling. And I'm happy I had my cell phone in my pocket because I went straight on live.
We got everything. We got everything.
Yeah.
We got everything, man.
Yeah.
I said, well, one thing about this dude, if he don't get another coaching job, he could damn sure be a videographer. He records everything.
We've seen everything. I said, this is a hell of an experience. I'm here. I feel like I'm here.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. I mean, Dwayne Wade at Javion on Twitter.
Wow.
It was a crazy night. Jason Tatum DM'd him and told him, yo, you cold. Like, it was crazy, man.
Yo, how about that love, though? Now that you said those names, I seen Steven Jackson. I seen a lot of people that did the videos.
A
lot of people did the videos, like, just showing y'all love.
Rowdy Rebel.
Yeah, Rowdy Rebel. Like, wow, like, just people just all over from different arenas, different entertainment lanes. They always just showing y'all love.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, people like the underdog, you know, so because 95% of society could relate to being an underdog, you know what I mean? Black or white.
Right.
So people like the underdog and we give them that feel good, you know.
Yeah,
moment.
I was about to say that it's that stench that y'all got and you know, people notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how y'all was moving. And then like you catching it on footage made it more potent, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like, yeah, I like them. You know what I'm saying? And I can see why people came out. Yep.
Now, Coach Reem, we're down to the Sweet 16.
Uh-oh.
You just looking at who's all left in the NCAA tournament. Who do you like?
Baylor.
Baylor?
Yeah, my man Alvin Brooks.
Oh, well, here you go. What's going on with that, though?
Yeah, Baylor.
You supposed to go with who beat the best.
Nah,
y'all the best.
Nah. Baylor, the North Texas big brother. Like this shit.
Hey, I got my tweet queued up. Like as soon as Baylor take care of them,
They not beating us, dog. I'm telling you now, they not beating us.
I'm telling you,
they not beating us.
I can't wait till that game is over because I'm gonna tweet.
Yeah.
Beat up the little brother, big brother come a week later and get you.
So who's your prediction for the Final Four though, Reem?
Man, you know what's crazy? Because we was actually in the NCAA tournament, it's the first time I couldn't really pay attention to the brackets.
Wow.
So coming from your side, it was Gonzaga, Creighton, USC, and Oregon left. So only one of those will go to the Final Four.
Gonzaga.
All right, and then in the bottom bracket, you got Michigan, Florida State, UCLA, and Alabama.
Yeah.
Florida State is scary, man.
I like them in there. I like their coach, man. I
like Leonard too, but
Jawan
Howard.
I'm rooting for Jawan.
I'm rooting for him too, but I think I'm gonna have to go to OG, man. I think it's the
Leonard?
OG's time. Yeah, Leonard Hamlet.
All right, and then in the bottom of the, I guess the East, you got Loyola, Chicago, Oregon State, Syracuse, and Houston.
The Loyola Chicago is scary, for real. They scary.
That's tough.
Say that again.
Loyola Chicago against Oregon State. And then you got Syracuse. So this is the big game. Syracuse against Houston this week.
Houston will beat Syracuse. Loyola Chicago is going to beat Oregon. And then I'm going to go Houston.
Okay. All right.
I got
it. And then, so it's obvious. You got Coach Tang and A. Brooks against Nova. Then you got J.D. Notte against Oral Roberts.
Shout out to Z, man. Z recruited a hell of a player. I'm pissed at him that he didn't send him to North Texas. He sent him to Arkansas. He's supposed to be my man. But Baylor for sure. It ain't even close.
Yeah,
I got Baylor down the Nets.
Baylor coming down the Nets. Okay.
You're supposed to say that.
So he here at the Console Crew podcast. First time ever.
Let's get it.
So now we're gonna ask you your top 5 MCs. I know you're very limited, so you get.
Damn.
we Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, Pac, and Jadakiss are gone. You can't use them. I don't even really worry about the rest of our list because we know you're not gonna use those. But you can use some of them guys from your neck of the woods.
Oh, of course. Well, that's easy. Bob Marley.
Oh, is that number 1 or 5?
Huh?
Number 1, or we gonna build it up from 5 to 1?
Oh, you said 5 to 1?
Yeah.
Bob Marley.
He's number 1.
Bob Marley.
He's number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Buju Banton.
God damn.
Oh, okay.
Pop.
No, I didn't say go all reggae ring. Like, there's still rappers out here.
I gotta stay true to who I am.
Makes
Let
sense.
them
Makes
think
sense.
you-
If I hear you,
top 5 reggae, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm bringing some diversity.
Let's go.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Long as you ain't got thong sandals on, ring.
That way people could go look them up and.
My man. I apologize, brother.
Let's take that back. Let's take that back from the top again. You got number 1. You got Bob Marley.
Yep. 2 is Buju Banton.
Mm-hmm. Legend.
3, Popcorn.
You want to speak in your language?
Popcorn.
Yeah, Popcorn.
All right.
4, I'm gonna go Taurus Riley. You know, that's like the R&B version of reggae.
Okay.
5.
Who you rounding it out with?
Man,
You can throw hip hop in there now.
Nah, he's sticking with
no.
He's sticking with the root.
He's going to Lifeline.
Come on.
For reggae. I said Bob Marley, Popcorn. I said Buju Banton.
Taurus Riley.
I need one more. Who? Oh, Jamil. Jamil is
Dawson?
No Beanie Man? No Beanie
Jamil.
Man?
Nah, Beanie Man too commercial.
Beanie Man. I grew up on Beanie Man, but he fell off late.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Sizzler number 5.
I'm telling you right now. You better take a social media break because I'm going to add all the hip-hop dudes that you put in your fucking story every day and let them know that you ain't put them in your top 5. I'm letting them know right now.
He's staying true with the roots. He's staying true with the roots.
Yeah.
It ain't Sunday, though, Reem. You only listen to it on Sundays.
Yeah. Hey, I listen to it a lot more than that. I know Sundays is strictly reggae. Strictly reggae on Sunday.
So now, the season is over. As a coach, where do you go? What's the step now after your final game against Villanova? As a coach, where do you go shift to now? Is it recruiting? Is it working out with the players that you still have coming back? Like, where do you go from a coaching mindset now, preparing for next year?
Recruiting, give the players about a 2-week break, and then we start coming back lightly and just getting some work out of it. And then I try to get myself in some kind of shape too, because my wife can cook. She's from New Orleans, so my belly kind of hanging a little bit.
You going through it?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Reem, when it's all said and done, and if you could pin your own legacy, you stole that too. What would your legacy be?
I looked out. I looked out for whoever came through my life or whoever I came in contact with. I looked out. I never try to cheat anybody out of anything. I just looked out. Whether you're a basketball player or a regular person, you know what I mean? So I looked out. Tesman might be pissed at me for this, man, but Tesman is one of my biggest motivation, man. Like,
wow. Don't let this man crying on here, man.
He
all
high.
fuzzy, man.
When I first met him, when Z introduced me to him, he was working at the University of Delaware. You know what I mean? He was driving trucks and all that type of stuff. And then he put himself through school, and now he a big-time IT dude that could work anywhere in the country. You know? So, and he did it later on in his life, when most people think it's too late. You know what I mean? He still got to reinvent himself. So I got a lot of love for Tesman. I got to give him his flowers while he's still here.
I like it.
Yeah, my wife was trying to fight me just now. She just ducked. She was standing there. mimicking me. So
She fast. Yeah. Sis been a hater for a minute though. Ever since I logged on to that first y'all first podcast, Cupcakes with the Dowlings or whatever it's called.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sound like Pink. That sound like Pink.
Yo, she had my boy on there with an apron on, and I'm like, come on, sis. Like, no.
That sound like Pink, man. That sound like a lot of Pink.
Pink background.
Man. Yeah. This is my man, though, man.
Carl understand.
Good dude. I heard you got a text from your nephew today too, man. Speaking on giving.
Oh yeah. Why are you checking his phone?
No. He asked me this morning. He was like, Dad, when you get them shorts? I was like, I been had them. No, you didn't. You just got them why didn't you bring me none? I said, man, text your uncle, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah. He texted me. I gotta see.
Okay.
I equipment people up already.
Well, Coach Reem, man, we salute you, man. We thank
Appreciate
you for
you,
coming
Reem.
on the Concert Crew podcast.
I'm gonna come check you out, Reem, when Midair come down there, man.
Okay, bet.
I'll be down there with him, man. I'm gonna come mess with you, man.
By the way, this is the I know you like to go live, so this is the social media era. So give them your @ so people can follow you. I mean, the school, whoever, everybody, let them follow your movement, man. What y'all doing?
Hold on. Let me go on a little live real quick.
Yeah.
Come on,
man. Live on the podcast.
Yo, this dude's crazy, man.
Right here with the Concert Crew podcast.
Yeah.
Follow them on social media. Tell them y'all @ man.
@ Concert Crew podcast.
Yeah.
Concert Crew podcast. Just finished an interview with these 3 great men.
This is the first.
Giving back.
This is the first. Yo, he made me so mad one day.
Now give us your @ Give us your @
Do the right thing.
Yes, not ours.
Forever, the number 4, and then ever, Coach Reem VI.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
The number 4, the word ever, the word coach, and then Reem, REEM, and then VI for Virgin Islands. So
that's Instagram. What about Twitter? Is Twitter the same?
I think Twitter is Coach Reem Forever.
Okay.
Yeah, he's heavy on both, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, look, man. Shout out to you, Coach Reem. Shout out to North Texas, Mean Green.
Yes. Javion Hamilton.
Hamlet. Yeah,
Hamlet.
Yeah, Javion Hamlet. Keep doing
Sierra
your thing.
Dowling.
Much success. Man, we appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Reem, man, for coming through, man.
Going, man. Appreciate the dope conversation, man. All right, brother. You be safe, man.
All right, bro.
All right.
One.
Yo, man, well, shout out to Coach Reem, man. We appreciate you, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man, keep on supporting this brother, man. We talking this March Madness, man. I hope everybody enjoy this. It's a great time of year. But, yo, we Concert Crew podcast.
Follow Javion, man. That boy going to be special.
Yeah, definitely follow that brother. I love his spirit. I love his confidence, man. I definitely
Straight out of
support what
Memphis.
he's doing. Straight out of Memphis. Tennessee. Nah. He balling.
Shit.
He balling.
He know.
Shit.
But besides, salute to both of them, man. But yo, this Concert Crew podcast, make sure y'all go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure y'all go download, subscribe. We on all digital platforms. Yo, make sure y'all go to our YouTube page. Subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe right now. You're gonna check out all our videos. Yo, man, we here. We ain't going nowhere. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.